We are back. It's the Just Offside podcast. Myself and Michael Pavella are joined by another special guest today. Very special. He is a former Toronto FC player. He has gone and played with Vaughan Azzurri, Ottawa Fury, York 9, and now is with Atlético Ottawa. Did I say that correctly? Yeah. Atlético Ottawa. It's my boy Chris Mannella, man. Chris, thanks so much for joining us, bro.
Thanks for having me, guys. Played with Keith for a while, and now he's doing it, and I love it, man. It's good to see.
Yeah, good to see you, bro. So how's life? How's life in the bubble? What's up?
It's not easy, man. It's not easy. Just cooped up in here, doing absolutely nothing, going to and from training, hopping on a bus, just straight back into the hotel room, sitting around watching Netflix.
That's it.
The normal stuff you do on an away trip, except you can't go out for even a walk.
Oh my god, bro.
Not great.
So what you guys usually training in the mornings?
Yeah, it's the kind of schedule's been all over the place. You've kind of afternoons. There's 8 teams staying in one hotel, so they got to kind of manage the schedules of like when buses are leaving. So it's been all over the place. We've trained at 8 a.m. We've trained at 8 p.m. So it's been. I get it. They're trying, but it's just different.
And when did you guys get there?
We got here June 16th. So I've been here like 4.5 weeks now, just over a month.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Oh, is that eight teams are there as well?
Yeah, like, all 8 of us. So it's like strange because you play a game and then you see these guys just like at the hotel, and it's like I just beefed with this guy on the field. I have to just like see each other. It's like, all right, I'll just you know what I mean? So it's just weird.
Yeah, no, I get that, bro.
You get caught up at like the ice machine grabbing ice, and you're like, oh no.
And it's even weirder because we all have our own floor, and like for example, the ice machines are only on like even number floors. So I go into the floor that's not mine, and I'm like wearing my gear, and then like people are out there, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "Yo, I don't feel like leave me alone, yo."
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's jokes, man. So how was because I saw that you guys obviously the partnership happened with Atlético Madrid, man. How was the preseason out there and everything?
Awesome, man. It was awesome. I mean, we were only supposed to go for a month, but then like COVID happened. COVID was still like there, and it's pretty much still a huge part of everything and everyone's lives. So we had to extend it an extra month because the season got postponed. We ended up staying there 2 months, which was pretty cool because like the facilities and stuff, like we're looking at Atlético Madrid's first team like Instagram and like their preseason, it's exactly the same places we were. So it's pretty dope to see like the training facilities, the gyms and stuff like that, and like all these top talent, like literally top tier footballers are like doing the same stuff as us. So it's pretty cool to see. And, and even seeing like some of the youth players, and like these guys, you just know, like they're just going to be absolute ballers when they grow up, and they're 16 years old. And like, they're just, the way they move is just ridiculous. Just like another level.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome to see though, because you don't experience that stuff.
Exactly. Was that your first time in Spain?
Actually, no. I had been to Valencia and Barcelona before for vacation. I played a little bit in Valencia, just outside of Valencia, kind of right after I was with Vaughan. So I kind of had the experience with a little bit of Spanish football, but it was like in the lower tier. Yeah. And then just seeing these guys, just a different world. You know what I mean? Like a completely different world. It was awesome though.
Sorry, go Mike.
I was gonna say, how was it like? Obviously, 2 months of being in Spain. Food wise, drink wise, like the way of life, like did you get to take that all in, or were you kind of stuck in like a hotel as well?
No, we actually did, because like as much as we were in a bubble, like we had to be safe, right? Because obviously COVID and whatever, but we actually had the chance to go out because it was strange. Everything was open, like indoor dining was open, like it was normal life. So we landed, and we had to do our PCR test and stuff like that. But if I really wanted to, I could have gone out to like a restaurant and not have been breaking any laws. So it was cool to see. So we were able to experience a little bit, obviously eat some paella.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's so like cliche, but like of course we gotta try it when we're out there. So we eat some paella, and it was cool to see. I mean, they eat dinner at like 9:30.
Yeah.
And like at home I'm like in bed at like 9 and watching Netflix. So it's like half asleep eating dinner, but it was cool to see. It's cool to like experience at least.
Yeah, that's wicked.
Yeah, it was dope.
Did you guys get to watch? Oh, you couldn't even watch games. No, I couldn't even.
No,
you
what?
Get to go to the...
It's crazy because we were going to. It's funny that you asked that. We were literally planning on going to. Our CEO and president is good friends with the head honcho of Atleti, like the whole the big guy, and he had asked La Liga for us to go into a match, and, you know, following the safety protocols and stuff like that, and they said yes. And then I don't even know what happened. It was like something with the club, and then it was the day of the game, and they're like, "Oh, like you can't go," type of thing. But we were all planning on it. Like it was planning. We were gonna go to see them at like their home stadium, and mind you, like this is the time where they're fighting for the championship.
Yeah, exactly.
They're able to win the title, and they were like 3 games out from winning, and to go see them like live would have been dope. I mean, even being in the city was pretty cool too.
Yeah, that's dope.
Could imagine. I would love to see Diego Simeone like up close. Like,
it's funny because like I didn't even get to see him at all, so I won't even lie about that. But just like hearing stories from people who have been around him, they just say he's like the most intense guy. Just like, and like you can see it on TV. This guy scares the shit out of you. You know what I mean? Through the television set. So it's like imagine seeing this guy in training just like yelling at you. It'd be pretty cool, but yeah, it's you could tell he has like the influence on the entire club though. Like they're very structured, and like he's like the perfect man for them, you know?
Yeah, I've loved him and rated him for a while, and always wanted him to come to like Arsenal and stuff. But it just seems like that's his club. Like he's never gonna leave. I think he just signed an extension as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's his home, man.
Oh yeah.
Did you get a chance to meet like any of the players or like see any of the players on the current team?
Saw them, yeah. Just kind of saw them from a distance. Didn't really get to meet them. COVID, obviously. So
true.
And they don't want to compromise like a thing. And some of the boys saw Joao Felix, and that was like the moment of their lives for sure. And, they loved that. But interacting with them was tough just because of the situation we're in.
True, fair enough.
Yeah.
So Chris, obviously you've had a great soccer journey, man, but like take us to the start of it, man. Your youth soccer, where'd you growing up? Tell us about that.
At the beginning. I mean, as far back as I can remember, like we all kind of remember little kids soccer playing when you're 6 and 7. You have like your club. I think it was with it must have been like High Park or something in Toronto. But then like the most like memorable times were at like Spartacus in Toronto, North. Spartacus, and we were like battling those teams like Ajax and Pickering and all them, you know what I mean, and going through those OYSL days. And then,
so who are the other kids? Because you're 94. Who are the other kids?
94. So guys, maybe like Bryce Alderson.
I remember Bryce.
Kevin Alleman. Now he's at Winnipeg. You know, Piet, Mark Anthony who's on the team. Sergio Camargo. So like all those guys were my age. And then basically like from the OYSL days, move into TFC Academy where I met Keith. And then kind of went through that process together. And, you know, like, I mean, the experience was like, stay with me forever. You know, I met people within that academy system that like, even if I don't talk to like consistently, like we're still cool, you know? It's like that we were literally a family at that time, like schooling together, eating together at all times. And like, those are the best days that I can remember is really within the TFC Academy because it shaped me, you know, it shaped my relationships, it shaped everything. So I love that. I love that time of my life.
But how about even before that, joining the provincial program? So you were there for 3 years too, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So before I ended up TSC, I was at the provincial program, and at the time it was like the cream of the crop. You know, everyone wanted to like go into the provincial.
I still remember because you guys came in the year after. I still remember like we were watching. I think you guys had a game. You're just like at the beginning, and like we're looking like. Who was this little kid? Got the long hair. He had like the long, like Messi when Messi was young, the long messy hair. I was like, who's this kid? Little kid saucing everybody on the field.
It's hilarious because I looked pictures. I was literally like 4'11". I was so tiny and I had long ass hair, and like everyone was like, "What's wrong with this guy? Is there a girl out there?" And I was like, "Oh." But I remember.
What trips did you guys take with those teams? Where do you guys go? What trips did you guys get to take?
We went at U14. So I was there U14, U15, U16. At U14, we went to San Diego. It was like the California trip, and that was with Jim Canavan and Ian Skitch. Those are the managers.
Yeah.
U15. I think U15 was Switzerland and Italy. Like we did like we went to like Milan. I think we went to like an AC Milan game.
Yeah.
And then I think U16 was France, or it might have been like one of the I don't know what. But it's France or trips. Yeah, yo, it was crazy, man. We did some cool ass trips because like we went to an AC Milan game, we went to a Marseille game the other year, and like that was my first real experience with like major clubs, you know, because
that was for us too. That time.
For major clubs, because you don't get that, right? And then you obviously know who these clubs are, you know who these teams are, you know who these players are, and then seeing like we played against AC Milan's like youth team.
Yeah,
and, you know, it's like, how is a kid from Toronto? Like,
I know.
Like I go to this like random school in Toronto, and now I'm doing it. I've thought about it. I would like wonder who was on those youth teams.
That's what we wonder too.
What I mean,
when we went to France when we were 15, we played Le Havre. And that's where Pogba and them, and he's a 93. So like we could have played.
Could have been there. You know what I mean? Like
Varane, we played Lens. Varane was at Lens too, so we could have played Varane.
Like,
it was crazy.
I would love to know who was actually on that team and go back and see those rosters, because there's definitely some big name players. You know?
Oh yeah, those were definitely the first times. Like
probably played against like Aubameyang. Aubameyang was back at Milan at that time.
Yeah, exactly. Potentially, yeah. Like,
keep laughing, no chance.
Aubameyang, man. Get out of here.
Yeah, he was at AC Milan. He's in the youth academy.
Yeah, but he's also way older.
I don't know, man.
Not that much.
So how did this TFC come about for you? For you guys, your age group?
Yeah, because we're like, I remember U16 was a strange year because we didn't really know what to do after that. And I remember Patrick Tobo, the coach at the time, was trying to like not force us, but like keep us together, because the way it worked was like after the provincial program was done, I think it was like around March. I think the nationals were like in July or something like that. So there was like a gap where you went back to your club teams, right? And like played with your leagues. So like he wanted to like keep everyone together, and he wanted everyone to go to like, I think it was Portugal SC with like Patrice and them and Carmen Asako. Okay. And I remember he was trying to tell us to go there. But then TFC Academy was just starting. It was like brand new. No one knew anything about it. The MLS was kind of like a weird league that nobody really wanted to play in, type of thing. Like when we were in the first, it was just like strange. Yeah. And I remember I had the option to go to Portugal SC, and then I've been approached by Stuart Neely, because he was part of like whatever the program, and he's like, hey, there's this opportunity to come to, you know, TFC Academy and this and that. And I said, I remember talking to my parents, and I just made the decision to go. And I think it was literally like, it might have only been 3 or 4 of us on that team, the U16 team, who actually decided to go to TFC.
Went, right,
Yeah, and we were looked at like the weird ones. You know, we were the weird ones for going there, because they're like, oh, why are you going to go to this and blah, blah. Like, why aren't you going to come to Portugal SC? And then, so then I ended up just going there, and then I just stayed there. So it was kind of like the best decision I could have made.
True, yeah, because not a lot of your young 94s, not a lot of them ended up
there. And honestly, it was a strange team. Like my age group at the TFC Academy was a strange, I mean, strange in the fact that like I said, provincial team was like the cream of the crop. If you were in that program, it was whatever. And then not a lot of them were there. It was almost like at the second team of like what the provincial team would be. And then we ended up being probably like better than them at times. I remember them like beating them. So it was a strange team to look at it that way, but I mean, it ended up working out.
Right? Yeah. So talk about your, did you get to go into any youth cups or any of that with the
that was pretty cool. Yeah, we went to the Dallas Cup, actually. I think it was the Dallas Cup in my second. I went to MLS Youth Cup in the first season. Yeah. That was pretty cool. We played La Chivas, LA.
Where was that for you guys?
That was the first year. It was in Houston. It was in Houston the first year.
Really hot as hell, man.
I remember.
Oh, Houston is hot, man.
We played Tigres' youth team, and we got destroyed. Absolutely slapped. And we were just like, I remember, I don't remember a lot of certain games, but I just remember this game. I was looking around like, yo, I gotta get out of here. I was so tired. It was so hot. I was like, yo, get me out of here, please. I gotta leave. So that was Houston. That was the first year. And then we ended up going to Dallas Cup, I think. And the biggest name player at that team, at that tournament, was Januzaj. He was at United, and United was at that tournament. Like,
true.
No way.
So Januzaj was like the new wave of.
Yeah, I remember Januzaj.
Yeah. Went to Dallas Cup, and then we went to MLS Youth Cup. I think it was the next year in. I think it was Dallas again. I think it might have been Dallas. It was all Texas though. I never went anywhere else. Yeah.
I know.
But it was cool experiences, man. Like,
it was amazing.
Playing these youth teams, and actually Diego Fagundes was another big one. We played New England.
Yeah.
Like he was a new boy.
I think he's Europe. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still playing. He's still killing the league right now.
Yeah. He's doing well.
Talk about our. We talked about going to school together. And what do you remember from Von Road Academy and those crazy experiences?
Those so crazy times. I don't even know how. There's some experience. I remember being like this literally little white kid, like 5'2", 5'3", standing. And like I watching my teammates, like my good friends, like rap battle in the stairwell. I couldn't be anywhere near there, and like I'm just sitting there, and like I'm like, this is the funniest shit I've ever been. I was like so grateful for even being allowed in the stairway. You know? It was amazing. It was so funny, but it was a weird experience because I mean, as you know, Keith, like we would get picked up at like 12. Sometimes we went to school for like an hour.
Bros. Yeah.
We didn't even have like a real high school. But then we get picked up by, I remember Jason Bent used to drive there.
Yeah, Jason and Ryan. Ryan.
Hitman Ryan, who was probably the most insane person I've ever met in my life.
My God.
Just going like 100 on like a 40. It was like 10 kids back there who were like 14, 15, 16. Like, yo, relax. But yeah, it was fun time. We used to get picked up and then we used to play soccer tennis.
Bro, that's the thing, Pav. We just have this soccer tennis room and we play that from like 12 o'clock till we train at like 4.
Yeah. We
people getting mad at each other, people not talking to training. Stuff going on in soccer.
Literally I remember leaving that room sweating and just cheesed at all of my teammates. Like if I lost, I was just pissed at everyone. Yeah, it was fun, but those times were like I said, like cherish those times so much because like literally like I made friends like yourself that you know, even if we're not connected for a while, like we're still cool. Like it's just we're all good people around and good coaches. It was just a good environment to be in. I'm so happy that I had that chance to do that stuff. Man. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that's the good thing about sport. I think like with anything, you just like reconnect with like teammates, coaches, whatever. It's just like that unity that everybody has, especially when you have like those shared experiences and moments. Just like can't beat them.
No, it's crazy, and the world is like the community is so small. Like like it's like probably the most popular sport, if not the most popular sport in the world. But the community is so small. Like everyone kind of ends up connecting with some way or another. You always have mutual friends, and it's like. It's cool to see all these connections that I'm making and have connections to have connections to, you know, and it's just like we're all placed in this and then we all kind of find this like center hub that we all have some sort of connection to. It's awesome. It's sick.
No, yeah, that's wicked.
So how did talk about that, making that jump, man? Because you obviously got to make the jump to the first team. Talk about maybe conversations you had with your family or with the staff too when making that decision.
I remember it was 2014, I believe. I was with the academy. We didn't have a second team yet, so we were playing in League One Ontario still. I think it was one of the first years in League One Ontario. We played we had a dope squad. It was like Mark Anthony, it was like Mo Babuli, myself, like we were a really good team in League One. Manu Aparicio was there, like really good team. And then I remember Ryan Nelson, I think just got fired. And Greg and the whole staff took over almost like immediately. Yeah. And then I remember he called me. It was like the night he got hired, called me and said, hey, like, would you come to training in the morning? Like, need numbers type of thing. And I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, absolutely, whatever. Showed up to training. I didn't really think anything of it. You know, young boy kind of, you know, you're up and down with the first team all the time. Whenever they needed players, you kind of just go up and train with them. Called me in. I ended up staying like 2 or 3 weeks training them consistently. And then I remember I was eating lunch with Wags, one of our like mutual friends, and I got a call and Greg was like, hey, it was Tim Bezvichenko and Greg, and they're like, hey, like we'd love to offer you a pro contract. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, I remember Wags actually paid for my lunch because I was like rattled, and he just and I remember just bolted home with him, and he came, and then we drove up there, and then I just signed. And it honestly happened like within like an hour because like there was no questions, you know what I mean? Like we already knew like I wanted this, my parents knew I wanted this, and then that was that. And then that was it. And I just, you know, I was there. I didn't play as much as I would like to. You know, I didn't get any games in the MLS, but it's even just kind of traveling. I was traveling for quite a bit in my first season, and just being around like, you know, Michael Bradley and these guys, and just seeing them and what they do was such an experience for me, you know.
No, yeah. Oh yeah. Talk about it though, man, because it is tough. People don't know, like, trying to break through. It's not as easy as it is. It may look for some people. Some people get their chance, make it, and they go. But then I talk about how, you know, you struggled a bit. They kind of talk about those lows you had.
No, absolutely. This game is literally a roller coaster, man.
Oh yeah.
As everyone knows, like there's highs of highs, and the highs are the best, and then there's lows of lows that like you just want to bury yourself. And for me, it was always a struggle trying to get minutes with the first team at all, because you know, whatever it may be, it's a game of opinions. Maybe Greg didn't think I was ready. Greg maybe think I was mature enough. Whatever it may be, I don't necessarily know, because I didn't really have those conversations with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's never easy, because at the end of the day, when you're a player, you want to play. You want to be on that field, no matter where it is, no matter what it is, you want to play. And when you think you can contribute to a team, or at least maybe try to at least get your opportunity, it's tough when you don't. And at the time, looking back, I was not sour, but I was just more upset than I think I had to have been.
Yeah.
Should have been, because, you know, and it's not like my level dipped, because I knew if I was upset, or if my level dipped, then it would just make everything worse. Well, now you're never going to get an opportunity, because now you're pissed and you're not playing well. So it's like, well, you're not going to get anything. So I remember just kept telling myself, and my agent kept telling me, like, train well, and you'll get your opportunity. I mean, the opportunity never really came. I got some friendlies in. I got some Canadian Championship games, which were pretty cool. Never got to MLS, but it's just one of those things where you just got to understand, and I didn't understand at the time, that it's more reasonings than you think that you're not necessarily playing. It's not necessarily because you're good enough or you're not good enough. It could be the manager doesn't think you're good enough, or the manager doesn't think you're ready. It's so many things that come into play, and it's not as cut and dry as people think, as if you're bad or you're good. No. You're good, you know, there's so many nuances. So
That's
I think I think for me, learning that and kind of coming to terms with it's not just black or white is what kind of I not regret, but I think I wish I would have understood a little bit before.
Well, man, you're young. You're so young at that point too, man. You're learning yourself as a person too. So
you know what?
Situation to navigate as a youngster.
Exactly. And you know, it's funny, because I was one of my first weeks, and this stuck with me forever, was Ashton Morgan told me that. I remember it was my first days. He's like, football is a lie. And he used to say, football is a lie. And I was like, I don't know what this guy's talking about. I was like, Ash, you gotta get out of here, bro. Making shit up, like, get out of here. It's like, what are you talking? And I didn't understand what he said. He's like, you'll understand, you'll come to terms with it. Football is a lie, that the hardest worker, and then I understood after, it's like the hardest worker, or the guy who deserves it, or the guy who's quote unquote the best, or maybe better than someone else, may not necessarily get an opportunity because for whatever reason. And he's like, football is a lie. So you might see people who you think you're better than, or know you're better than, or might be better than, whatever, get an opportunity, and then you don't. He's like, so football is a lie. And I'll never, ever forget it. I hope he sees that. I remember that. It's stuck with me for life.
It's a good quote.
Yeah. Bro, because I listened to, you had last year when you went into like the first bubble or the first lockdown, you did like a One Soccer interview. I listened to that like earlier this week. And just like one of the things that stands out is when you talk about that and like the lows of just like not having like a second team and like getting minutes and playing and like being able to like be like match fit or like getting those reps in is just so tough as well.
It's tough, man. It's tough. And I mean, even guys like here are going through it, because like if you look at our schedule, we're playing like essentially Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. You know what I mean? It's like 3 days in between matches. And so what do you do? The typical post-game the next day is recovery, and then you have a pre-game session, set pieces, whatever it may be, light, and then you play again. So guys who aren't playing even in this scenario, they have no way of getting fit or match fit. It's difficult. And at the time, it was difficult for me as well, because it's not as like there was the second team to kind of play with at times and go and get match fitness, but then it's like, well, the second team is in Charlotte and the first team is in Vancouver, and the Vancouver wants you to sit on the bench, and you know you're not going to play, and then you can't go play with the second team because so you find that kind of balance. And I really remember is Jim Liston was like the strength and conditioning coach. I told him, I said, I got to run. You know what I mean? Like, I got to run. So when Greg either made his third and final change, or like he didn't make the third and final change yet and we didn't know what was going on, I remember I used to set up pylons on the like cones on the sideline and just just run, like do some suicides and stuff and all, and like just kind of get my fitness in. And because I didn't know when my next match was going to be. Was it going to be like Tuesday with, you know, the first team? I didn't know if I was going to play or not. Or was it going to be like Friday with the second team? And so it was a strange thing to maneuver, but I mean, you literally just have to take it upon yourself to just, you know, try to do what you can in order to be ready, you know, and that's with everything. You got to kind of do your own stuff, but it was definitely a difficult situation to maneuver, and that's for sure.
So talk about your obviously after TFC, talk about your adjustments to Vaughan. You went to Vaughan right after that?
Yeah, I went to Vaughan because I went to Seattle for about a month and a half. I was with the second team in Seattle, and then basically, like contract didn't go through. It wasn't necessarily what I wanted at the time, so said no, like no thank you, and we'll just move on to everything. So by the time that had gone through, there was really no other opportunities for me to find a club. And I kind of found myself in a stint with Vaughan, which actually was like a really good time for me because it kind of just made me realize like that I still love the game and that I didn't want it to like go away. And I remember just like doing my fitness in the morning and training at night, fitness in the morning, training at night, knowing that, you know, when I went on trial or a team called me that I just wanted to be ready. So with Vaughan, it was awesome. Carm Nisako was like, he was like another father figure to me in a way. You know, this guy on a drop of a dime will do anything for you to keep playing and try to help you in any sort of way. So I remember he was calling teams for me. My agent was talking to him and he was doing things and he's like, no, you can't stop playing. Like, you got to find a team, this and that. So that time was really cool for me. And I ended up playing with like Joseph DiChiara, who's like at Calgary, because he was in between clubs as well. So it ended up being like a pretty good team. And like, you know, we had some good times. And then like literally it was maybe like 4 or 5 months after that, I found that team in Spain that I kind of just touched on a little bit. It was like a fourth division team in Spain.
Yeah, I remember when you were over there.
And I went to go train with them, and it was like pretty cool because I trained and actually played some matches, so it was dope to get into there. But literally, it was that time at Vaughan that kept me like sane in like playing.
Yeah, something that you needed. Yeah,
exactly.
I don't know if you remember playing us.
Remember we played you Ontario Cup.
Ontario Cup. It was like
some random hot day.
Oh my God! Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was true. I remember that.
Yeah, so Mike was on that team.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
man, I remember that was like, I don't know if it got rescheduled or pushed, but it was like a 10 a.m. kickoff in Vaughan for us.
Oh my God, yeah, you're like unlocking memories for me.
Oh yeah, bro. It was like 10 a.m. kickoff on. I think we got to like where we were meeting before. Like Keith and I had like a big night on the Saturday night, and he was dead. We were both dead. And we met up at like the Tim Hortons in Niagara Falls, like on the Sunday morning. And Keith was barely moving, bro. And we all just got to that pitch, and you guys were like warming up and getting ready, and we were all dead.
The classic League One or League Cup.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Pre-night, pre-match beers.
Oh my God.
Oh, bro. I think guys slapped us as well. I think it was like 20 minutes of like contention and then 70 minutes of just like not at all.
That's funny, man. That's funny.
So after Vaughan, obviously, in that good situation for you, you ended up at Ottawa?
Yeah, I went to the Fury.
How was that? Was Jules then the GM there?
Jules is the GM, so that's what I'm about. Because I know Jules from obviously my TFC days. I didn't play with him, like he was on the first
amazing
team.
Guy.
Yeah, exactly. So he was on the first team, and we actually had the same agent before when I was at TFC, so we kind of had like a connection. And so I remember when I had come back from Spain, he had known I was in Toronto, whatever, without a club. And I remember he called me. He's like, "Oh, why don't you like come in January to Ottawa? Like I already know everything about you," type of thing. And I was like, yeah, like that's perfect. So I ended up there, and then I ended up staying there for 2 seasons, and I loved it, man. Like,
you there 3 years?
2 seasons, 2 years.
Oh, 2 seasons. Okay.
I mean, I would have stayed more, to be honest. Like I love the city. Like obviously I'm back. Good situation. Like everything was good. I loved it, and obviously we folded. But like Jules was a good GM. He's a cool guy, and he knows his football, so it was like a perfect situation for me.
Sick. And you got to play, did you get to play against TFC?
Yeah, we played them.
How was that?
I ended up playing them 4 times because it was 2 times each year I played them.
Oh, okay, Canada.
It was good. I mean, like you could tell, like TFC was a different level, you know, like Greg had them well tuned, like he knew what he wanted, and they were a very, very good side, top players, and, you know, guys that we know, guys that we played with, they're very good. Also Ash, you know, Liam, like these guys are ballers in their own. So it was fun though, like going back home, especially playing at BMO.
I was gonna say, how was it playing at BMO?
It was awesome, man. Like, cause
I
never really played. Oh, I played there in friendlies.
We played friendlies, yeah.
Championship, yeah. But it's cool to just like play against them in more of like a meaningful match.
Yeah.
Especially in front of my friends and family. So that was awesome. That was awesome. Those are cool times for sure.
Oh yeah. So you end up now, well, back in Ottawa, bro. So tell us about this league, man. What are your thoughts on this league and the team you're playing on now? I don't know if you guys knew a lot of guys before coming in. Yeah,
I think like people don't really understand how like good the level is. Like, and I you know, it even took me by surprise. I'm not gonna lie, because playing in the USL there's a high level, and it was really good playing against like really, really good players week in and week out. There's a lot of teams that were kind of, you know, younger teams in the USL that necessarily maybe didn't have much experience or whatever, and you could tell the difference between like the Louisville, like the top end team, and maybe like a second team of like Sporting Kansas City or like Atlanta. Yeah. Although Atlanta was good, but you know what I mean? I had that disparity.
Yeah.
Like in this league, there's the 8 teams, and they're all basically like even. You know, it's all pretty good level. Like anyone could beat anyone at any given day. And you see like the signings coming in, like they're pretty big signings. You know, like
we're to see that,
yeah, like guys who have MLS experience, guys overseas. You know, top players who potentially even move on from here to get sold.
Yeah.
So like the level's pretty high. I mean, it's difficult because in a situation like this, you're playing every 3 days, so it's not necessarily, you can't really show you're like fully match fit, or you're tired because you just played 72 hours ago. So it's difficult to showcase like the highest level. But at its peak, man, like it's a good league, and the level's really, really high, and I'm enjoying it. And for me, it's like a perfect fit. Obviously, Canadian football is growing, and you get to play at a high level. It's like it's a win-win in all aspects.
It's beautiful, bro. I think it's so beautiful and needed for like youth players to have a league like that. Like obviously, there's the MLS, but that's something that's underneath it now.
Yeah,
is excellent. Yeah,
because the jump between like youth football and is like
the gap is way too big.
Yeah, like because you had players like Jovinko, you know what I mean? Like you have these top, you know what I mean? But like you have these top world footballers coming into the MLS now. And like, you know, even getting sold, like Almiron getting sold to Newcastle. These guys moving on to like Serie A. They give these big players top, and it's tough for someone who's like 16, even 17, like maybe not an average, but a good footballer who's 16, 17, to make that jump is a really big leap. You know, it's a really big leap. So I think there's like that in between now with like even the USL and the CPL is like it's that in between where you can play actually at a really high level, develop and hone your skills, and then jump into, you know, the MLS when you're like fully fit or fully ready and think you deserve a chance. And I mean, even Joel Waterman, for example, like he had a really good season at Calgary, and then gets jumped into the MLS, and he's good. Like, and he's ready. You know, there's that in between where he's like progress, boom, okay, MLS, and he's playing. So it's cool to see.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's dope, man. It's really dope.
Did you so you guys got word that when do you get to leave the bubble? I heard that's coming up soon.
Yeah, so we have a game tomorrow night at 9:30 our time. We're gonna play 10:30 Eastern time, and then we play on Wednesday night, and we leave Thursday morning. We're out of here. it's I mean, listen, like it's fine because we're playing games, you know what I mean? Like, so obviously everyone wants to play games, but just being cooped up, like,
I get it, man. Like, you don't get to go home, see your people, like leave. I know.
And like we've been joking like amongst ourselves, like if you lose a game, I don't want to see my teammate.
I know.
I think I have to wake up. I have dinner with them after the game, and I gotta wake up in the morning. And I'm sitting at the table.
You need that break.
And you know, if we lose a game at home and I see my teammate on the street, I'm not seeing him. I'm not even saying hi. I'm walking there like this, and I'm not even gonna say hi because I'll see you at training tomorrow. We'll deal with it then. You know, I'm not doing it. So. But yeah, here it's difficult because then no matter what you see that, and then you, like I said, you see the players that you just lost to, or you know what I mean? It's all of it is difficult. So I can't wait. Like Thursday morning we'll be home.
That'll be good.
We actually have like a 12-day kind of not rest, but like 12-day break in between games. So
between you start.
It kind of gives us a little bit of a breathing room.
You guys still play at that same stadium in Ottawa?
Yeah. So it'll be at TD Place, which is like the big CFL stadium for CFL, and it's great, man. I think they even put new turf down, so I'm
unreal.
Get back.
That's good.
Unreal.
I was gonna say, what are you guys doing like in the hotel? Like you said, like you just constantly seeing your teammates, seeing the players. Like, what do you have to do to not talk football, or like talk about what's going on?
You literally can't. You can't escape it.
Can't escape it.
You have like things in common with your friend, like, and every team has their little cliques because you automatically gravitate towards like people that have interests, like it just happens naturally. So you can talk about like whether it's shoes or whatever your hobbies outside, but then 10 minutes later you're back into football and you're talking
You
know what I mean? It's like I want to switch off for a little bit, but you can't because it's just like it's in you. Meanwhile, when we go home, like I see my girl, and it's like we don't even talk about soccer.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't exist in this house, and that's it.
Do you guys get like what's like the meals like? Do you got like the continental breakfast in the morning? Is it like shitty bagels and like those peanut butter packages, or do you get something good?
You know what? They've actually been good this year. Last year, I mean, I know people like were saying the food was terrible last year, and they weren't wrong. So I'll just. But no, this year it's better. Like they're giving us like oatmeal, like eggs and stuff. Like I'm vegan now, so I don't eat, but whatever. Like they have like the oatmeal, the eggs, the bagels, stuff like that. So they have that, and the food's actually been good, to be honest. The problem is there's only so much you can have because we've been here for so long. So they can
get repetitive.
Yeah, exactly. Like for the first week or 2 weeks, you're like, okay, this is fine. But then after like 5 weeks, you're like, all right, like I don't want these beans anymore. Like I don't want this. Like get this away from me. So no, but it's been good. It's actually the food's been good. It's just repetitive,
Yeah.
That's not their fault.
No, that's good. That's good. But before we finish up, man, tell us about this. I was reading up about Athlete Ally, and you're an ambassador for them. Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's dope, man. I'm glad you asked me about that too, because I was there's a player at North Carolina FC, and he had kind of approached. Actually, I don't even know how I found out. It was maybe through someone else, a teammate who knew him, and kind of brought it up, and then I saw it, I came across it, and I was like, oh, I really want to be a part of this. So I want to do whatever I can in terms of just how little or how big it may be. Do whatever I can. And then reached out to him. It was Austin Deleuze. That's we kind of came into contact. He kind of gave me a little bit of a rundown of it. Said, listen, like it's literally however you want to do it. There's no real guidelines to it. Like this is how we run things. Like we donate per game, per win, whatever. But it's like there's no guidelines. Like however you want to do it, you can do it. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So then I took it that first year. I did it with him, and then it's kind of just stuck with me for the last like 4 years now. So, and it's something I like. It's hard to talk about in especially in locker rooms where people may be more sensitive to it or not. But, the LGBTQ plus community and like the inclusion in sports is. I mean, you guys know how locker rooms are. Like they could be very difficult to even mention anything in that sense.
Of course.
And, so for me, it's like, if I can just, open up and be like, hey, like, it's okay type of thing. If I can help someone even like a fraction is like my goal, The money is one thing, and the money to donate is obviously is important, but that's not the goal. The thing is to at least shed light and know it's fine, right? Like, it's like, if you can play soccer, you can play soccer. It doesn't matter like your race, sexuality, your religion. Like it shouldn't matter, And I think the majority of people now understand that, but there's still like that fraction of people that is like they don't, and it's getting them over the finish line and getting them over that line and being like, okay, like everyone can play no matter what.
Exactly.
And then and so I thought it was just something cool to be a part of, and I don't see myself ever stopping it really.
And when did you start with that little partnership?
Yeah, I think it was 4 years ago now. It might have been.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it makes sense. 4 seasons ago. Yeah.
Okay. No, really
cool, man. I'm proud to be a part of it, honestly. And it was tough because it like last year during COVID, we weren't playing games or anything. So usually you do it by game. And I remember it's like we did it by like kilometer ran per week. So I was like, you find ways to input. So it's cool. It's cool.
That's real dope, man.
Yeah.
Real dope. Phil, you got anything else before we wrap up here?
I could probably talk to you for like hours. I'm not gonna do that now. No, that's wicked. I really like that partnership at the end.
No, that was really cool.
That's wicked. Like, I don't know if you know, but like I'm a teacher and I work with kids like all the time, and like really young ones as well. So like we have these chats like all the time, and just like inclusive environments is just so important. So as like a footballer, and actually like having that voice and that platform is just amazing to see as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man, because it's like I said, how little or how big my impact is doesn't matter, because as long as I'm doing something, or at least having a voice out there is what matters.
No, for sure, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate you sharing that with us. So let's finish off these quick hitters, Pat. You want to give them to Chris, or should I?
I can do the first one.
You want to do the first one? Go ahead.
Okay, so you mentioned that you went on like holidays and stuff like that. Like, obviously, when you get past Winnipeg, where's like the first like vacation spot that you want to kind of hit, like with your girl, or like traveling or going anywhere?
Honestly, I love the Dominican. Like, I love going to just sit on the beach. So
do nothing.
Like little all inclusive.
Yeah, exactly. Because legit, like it's so stressful, just like everything you go through in the season. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I love traveling to like different cities and like Europe and going to see new cultures. But like for a week, I just want to go sit on the beach. I'll just say that. Do nothing.
That's fair.
Okay. How about what's been the best place atmosphere-wise for CPL that you've played in? Well, not counting your home
or anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go see
any game.
I've only
just
ever
a couple.
One place. Yeah, I've only ever played one place in the CPL because of the thing. It was
Halifax.
Yeah, but it was really dope because the fans are like, they get on you. They really they get after you, and they're saying some mean shit to me, and I'm looking around like, that hurt, man. Like, just leave me alone, please. I'm just trying to play here. So, I think that was a pretty cool place. In terms of ever, ooh, that's a tough. Cincinnati, when they were in the USL, was pretty cool.
Bro, I heard they're crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy. And the USL didn't get that many fans. Like maybe 6, 7, 8,000 if you're lucky, 9,000 if you're really lucky, type of thing. Double digits if you're super lucky. But they used to get like 25, 30,000 on like a Wednesday night in the USL. Yeah. So we used to roll up, and they used to be like yelling at our bus, and like, yo, am I the Champions League here? I was like, so I think that was probably one of the coolest places to play in a way.
Okay. You got the next one, Pao?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you kind of mentioned it just when we were talking about the food, but your decision to go vegan and like plant-based. So like, when did that happen, and how's it been going since?
I'm interested to hear this, because I think this is something I've been wanting to do in the future. Down the line when I'm old, so I want to hear this.
When you're old.
30, 40 plus.
Old man. No, for me, it was, I don't know, it wasn't really like anything that clicked, or like, I was like, I have to go vegan. I've had stomach issues for like a long time in terms of just like digesting food, and I've talked to like a few nutritionists and trying to help me figure out what's going on with my stomach and like digestive system. And one of them mentioned like, hey, like, why don't you try going vegan? And I said like, sure. And I remember she helped me out trying to make sure I got all the nutrients and making sure I was doing the right thing. And I did it, and I kind of never looked back, because the improvements that I had in like my digestive system, like, and I'm lactose intolerant as well, so I didn't have dairy for a long time. I didn't have dairy for a long time anyway, so like eating the cheese, no milk, that was like no problem for me, because I'd already been doing that for a long time. And then it was basically just getting myself off like chicken and steak, and which is like the easiest thing to make, you know what I mean? Like, you're in a hurry, just throwing a piece of chicken or something like that. It's just the easiest thing to make, especially at home. So I think that was probably like the most difficult thing, was like getting enough protein. But it was more just like my digestive stuff that made me make the switch. I felt great after that, and then I just never looked back.
So when was that? When did you make that switch?
That was, I want to say, like just over, like almost 3 years ago. Yeah, like 2.5, 3 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, so I've been doing it ever since, and I feel good.
Did you notice like well, not like an immediate, but like kind of like a difference in performance after a while?
Yeah, like honestly, like I had to really think about it. You know, it wasn't something that I was like, whoa, like I feel like so much better, because so many people like lie where it's like, oh, I ate vegan for like a week, and I swear I'm like, like I have no problems anywhere. It's like, no, that wasn't my case. It was more just trying to like see my stomach and how it was. And I noticed that like I almost at one point I had a little bit of muscle fatigue or like muscle weakness. I noticed because I wasn't getting enough protein. So then I had this, I talked to my nutritionist like, okay, make sure you're supplementing with like more protein powders. Make sure you have like the tofus. Make sure you're getting enough protein. But then once I found that balance, I realized like one, my digestive stuff was better. I felt like just lighter. I felt like I could move better and I'm not even advocating for like everyone to go vegan because I've had people go vegan, they like feel terrible, So it's more just like find your like what works for you best, and this seemed to work best for me, so I'm gonna like stick to it because I've had the opposite where people go vegan, like I said, and just hate it. And don't feel good.
Yeah, bro. I feel like years ago, like when people were vegan, like their alternative was like just like carrots and hummus. That's all they would eat. But like now you go like anywhere, you just get any menu has like the vegan options, has like there's so much more alternatives out there. It's so much more common.
Exactly. I can actually go out to eat with like my girlfriend and not have to like spend an hour choosing a place.
Restaurant.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, because I think I saw Hector Bellerin has like come out and talked about it. I think Djokovic is vegan as well. He's talked about it as well. So interesting to see. Who did you say?
I'm in good company.
Oh, Chris Paul, in good company.
All right, another one we got. Man, maybe coolest celebrity or star you've crossed paths with through your journey.
This is a random one. Jamie Foxx. It was
Jamie Foxx.
When I'm telling you it's random, I mean like the most random thing of my life. So I'll never forget. TFC sent us to I think it was Game 6 of the playoffs. It was the Raptors versus Cleveland. I don't even remember what year it was. It might have been 2015 or 2016. But so they gave us tickets. They put us in a box. So it was like me, Nick Hagland. I don't know if Ash was there, but there was a few of us there. And I was sitting in the box, and I remember hearing a knock on the door. And I said, okay, whatever. And D-Row was there, and he opened the door, and it was Jamie Foxx. Hell, I'm like, what am I? You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm 20 years old. I'm like looking around. I'm like, so they're in the box. There's like 3 rows. You're sitting in the box, and this guy comes and sits like right in front of us, and he's like, hey, how's it going? Like starts dapping us up. I'm just like, what? I'm just at this Raptors game, and then all of a sudden he starts like chatting to us like the whole game, like just starts like just talking to us about stories, and like I'm telling you, this guy is exactly the way you were like. He's like energetic, like jumping up and down. He was on FaceTime with like 2 different people at once. I was like, well, what is going on? And then he gets off FaceTime, he looks around, he's like, let's go to Shirt Club in the ACC. Like, so I'm like, what? I'm like literally 20 years old. I'm like, what is happening right now? I just like left my parents, like just said bye to them and go to Raptors game. And all of a sudden I'm in the Shirt Club, and all I see like Drake at Shirt Club at halftime. And I'm like, what's going on? So that was probably like my craziest like celebrity. I have a picture with him. I was like, I have to take a picture of this guy.
Yeah, of course.
Like I have to.
Naturally. And then it was what? We said like favorite player or like craziest player that you've like gone up against or.
I mean, I think the craziest player I've ever played against was probably Kaká, because like we played in Orlando City.
Yeah, true, Orlando, yeah.
When we was at Orlando, and we
played,
like
bro, that would be like that guy is like one of my idols.
Prime Kaká was different.
And like, you see him a lot.
And this guy's huge.
Yeah, he's big, bro. Because they came, we saw them. I don't know if you're at the academy then. Remember when Madrid came?
When Real Madrid came,
bro. I remember him being like, "Yo, Kaká's tall, bro."
Yeah, this guy's tall. So I remember seeing him, and he's just like, "What? This guy's lanky." I was like, "I didn't."
Play TFC, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I remember playing.
You got to play City too, no?
Yeah. Oh yeah, forgot about that. Yeah. David Silva and Aguero, those were 2, and I got Aguero's jersey. That was pretty dope. That was.
Oh, you got Aguero's jersey?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be our next question. Best player jersey swap.
Oh yeah, Aguero for sure. I mean, he didn't take mine, but I remember. I came.
No way, you got his jersey.
Like the 20th minute, I came on the 20th, and Greg was like, "Oh, you're gonna go center back," and I was like, "What?" And like I look on who's a field. I'm like, "Yo, that's Sergio Aguero up there." So when I walked on, and I remember the first minute I went like this. I was like, "It's jersey?" He's like, "Yeah."
That's big, man. That's unreal though.
Yeah, that's my best one for sure.
Jeez.
Where do you have that shirt now? Like, where do you have that jersey?
That's in my room. I actually haven't gotten it framed, but
I gotta frame that for sure.
It's hanging out in my room in Toronto.
Also, you're saying Kaká's 6'1".
Okay, but I didn't know he was that tall.
Yeah, I didn't know he was that tall either.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's not like huge, but I didn't think he was that tall. And maybe
he doesn't play like he's tall.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's like quick, he moves, like he's shifty, you know?
Yeah. It's because Keith's short, man. So everyone's tall compared to him.
Yeah, bro. This guy's the same height as me. So
not a chance. I'm the same height as Kaká, bro.
All right, last one. Yeah, all right. Hey, you obviously played with a lot of quality players, man. You gotta try and give us an 11-a-side team of guys you've played with, goalie included.
11-a-side.
And heads up, like Ash did this, and Ash like did pick like all of like guys he was like played with when he was like U16, U17, and then like once he got up to like 9 or 10 guys, he just he scrapped it all and then just
all started
like,
again. So,
okay.
Guys you've laced it up with.
Okay, and goalie, I'm gonna have to put my boy Callum Irving.
Hey, Callum.
That's my boy.
Callum. Yeah, I went to one Canada camp with him. He's hilarious, that guy.
My boy Callum Irving. Right back. Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm trying to think of right backs I played with. Carl Howarth when I was in Ottawa. Good footballer, good right back. I'm gonna go with Daniil as a center back because this guy's an absolute rock.
Bro, monster.
Center back Daniil, and who would be a good partner with him? I'm trying to think of guys I played with. Stephen Caldwell. Those two at the back would be they're crazy at TSC. And I think I put those two. I put Ash at left back because the guy just bombs on and I'll put him at left back.
You put yourself. Yourself you have to be in it.
Yeah, I'll put myself. I'll put Charlie Ward. I played with him, baller, English boy. I'll put Wags. Wags. Okay. This guy was I still think he would be one of the top pros if he didn't have the most messed up hips I've ever seen.
I know, he can't run, bro.
This guy cannot move anymore, so I'll put him because he was a
baller, man.
Oh, he was incredible, man. This guy was different level. Then who would I go with up top? I'll put Jay Hams up top, Jordan Hamilton up top because he likes to call himself Bus Netta, so I'll give him that's like the most Jordan Hamilton nickname, so I'll give him that. Left wing.
What a name.
Bus Netta, bro.
That's think of left wingers that I've played with, attacking players. I don't even remember some of the wingers I've played with.
You're looking at one of them.
Yeah. It's true.
No, I don't gotta be in there.
Who else was? I don't even remember. Like guys from way back who I've even played with recently. Like no one's standing out to me, which is a problem. I'll go Michael Petrasso out wide right.
Yeah,
Petrasso.
Where's he playing? He's in the league, right?
Yeah, he's in the league. I'll go Petrasso wide right, and I'll play an inverted winger, and I'll put Joseph DeCure out wide left because he can kind of come inside and in the pockets. I'll put him out there.
Okay.
I feel like that's a solid team.
That's a good team.
Yeah.
Good team. Strong team. But man, appreciate you coming on. Before we go though, if you need to plug anything, tell the people. Anything you need to plug, let them know.
Atlético Ottawa, man. I'll just plug our club. We're trying to do big things. You got support. So try to support our club. Try to support everything we do, and kind of support my journey if you want through Athlete Ally and playing for Pride. If my donations are ending at the end of this bubble, I'll be tweeting out kind of my final tally of whatever the tally is for the month and for the games played. And if you guys want to support me, whoever wants to match my donations or match any donations, you can DM me and potentially win a jersey. And that's pretty much all I got to say. But thank you for having me.
What's the Twitter? What's the Twitter?
C10 Mannella is my Twitter.
C10 Mannella, Insta.
C_Mannella. Yeah.
So give him a follow. Great guy. Follow Fuddy's journey this year. We'll be watching. We'll definitely have to have you back on, man, during the season.
Oh man, yeah, for sure. I'd love to come.
Hell, if you see Sergio, even Petrasso too, and Manu, they all need to come on here.
All right,
I'll get them all on here. Yeah,
for sure.
I'm gonna talk to Serge.
Yeah. All that. Yeah, you'll have a blast with him.
Pav, anything else?
No, bro. Thank you so much for coming on. It's great.
I appreciate it, guys. This is awesome, man. It's good to see obviously Keith, and good to like formally meet you for the first time. So
we'll see. Hopefully in the future we'll do something in person, which would be sick. Maybe at the cafe. Shout out Sonder Cafe.
100%. We'll shoot it at the Sonder Cafe.
Yeah.
Make sure we got the flat whites going, because I know.
But yeah, thanks again, Chris. And this has been another episode of Just Offside podcast with myself, Keith Makubia.
And myself, Michael Pavella.
All right. Peace out. We'll see y'all soon.